Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy and today I want to give you some tips on how to become mentally strong. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who really suffer mentally in our society today. Now, this is all across the board. It doesn't matter what age, what gender, who you are. So many people suffer in different ways. And when you're suffering mentally, things really affect you physically in your body as well. So it's really important that you start to get yourself strong. So when you're going through times of really mentally draining experiences, which can be anything from suffering cancer, losing a loved one, just going through the bushfires. That here in Australia was a really difficult time for a lot of people because we were always in the unknown, sort of, do we have to evacuate, do we not? These are times of a lot of turbulence and creates a lot of anxiety, and these things can really affect people, especially afterwards, you know, when they've had a lot of loss of their houses, wildlife, so many things. And that's just an example of when you're trying to get yourself strong again. It's very important that you start with the small things. Now, I talk about this a lot in my videos of how to actually get your life moving again. So it's about taking those small steps forward in order to move yourself forward. So anything that you can do that can slow down that busyness of your mind, because when your mind is very jumbled up and cluttered, it is very hard to cope with life, and that's when it becomes very consuming and our bodies will start to get affected. People get sore backs, they have a lot of problems in their knees, elbows get sore, we get sore shoulders. And again, I always relate the mind, and it really does connect to the body, because things such as the knees about moving forward, sore backs is a lot of burdens. If you've got very sore upper shoulders, that's about carrying a big burden and a load. These are all connected to the mind. So our mind and body go very closely hand in hand. So you've got to start working on the things that can work your mind, your body, and in turn start to heal your spirit as well. So what you've got to do when you're wanting to actually improve the way that you're feeling, you have to look at getting back to the things that make you feel good inside, because this comes back to rebuilding your soul and rebuilding your spirit, and that's how you start to heal your mind and you heal your body in turn. So I personally talk a lot about fitness, eating well. These are kind of basic things that most of us kind of are fairly aware of, but it's important to just remind yourself of these things. Now, I know myself, when I have gone through hard times, and I talk about that a lot, is getting back to things that you really, really love. Because when you're doing things that you love, when you're creating, when you're in that really passionate kind of place, they're the things that can distract you from your life and what is going on around you. Now, there is a fantastic book I talk a lot about, Ekhart Tolle, called Learning to Live in the Now. It's called The Power of Now, and he is amazing. He can actually teach you how to slow your life down and learn to live in the moment, because it's by living in the moment that you can actually clear your mind of all the clutter. And that's why meditation is talked about a lot. You don't have to actually sit and just meditate like a Buddhist monk, but you can actually learn to meditate by doing the things that are kind of like a relaxing therapy. So you might love to draw, you might love gardening, you might go for that horse ride. I talk about these things a lot. Even going to a movie, that's another thing that I do a lot. And having a laugh is a great way to actually start to shift the way that you're thinking, because you've got to distract your thoughts in order to slow down your mind, and that's what helps you to help clear when you're feeling very, very overwhelmed in life. So look, please, when you are feeling any of these things where you're feeling like you're not mentally strong, just start to help yourself in the small ways. Eventually you will find that you will get improvement. But what this does, it actually widens the gap. So you might feel depressed or sad or grief, but if you might interrupt it, so you go for that horse ride, or you go for a mountain bike ride, all sorts of things that you can do. You might even just go for a swim at the beach, and then you might drop back down again to that depression or that sadness, grief and loss, and that's fine. I'm not saying this will happen overnight, but if you can manage to stretch out that gap in between and make it longer and longer from the time that you do the next sort of activity or you start to shift things, that's when you start to heal. That's when it comes back to healing your soul, is by rebuilding it again and building that strength in you. So yes, you'll slip off. I'm not saying that you won't, but then do something again that's going to make you distract your mind and your thoughts and make your body improve and you to feel stronger again. So do these things. Go to that movie. Yes, you might slip off, but then go do something else. So it's a matter of continuously just reaching for those things that are going to sort of pull you out and make you feel stronger again. So that's how I go about things when I'm going through patches that are really difficult. Please try some of these things. There's some brilliant people on YouTube too. If you'd like to tap around on there, I'm sure you'll find many people that can really help you through these kind of times where you're feeling like you're just not going forward and you feel really stuck and you just don't know what to do and how to get yourself mentally strong again. But it can be done. I certainly always recommend, if you're really bad, that you may need medication or to go and see a GP or get a good psychologist, because that can definitely help a lot of people. And, you know, men particularly, you need to really reach out and get that help. Women do too, but women talk a lot more. So for men, it's much easier and automatic for them to suppress their emotions, to really bottle things up, which is very unhealthy, because that means that these emotions are really trapped in your body as well. And that's just a very unhealthy way to live your life, because eventually they have to come out somewhere. And often it comes out in the wrong sort of situation, and it's just an awful, awful feeling to feel that contracted, and that jumbled up in the mind is just an awful way to feel. So look, please try some of these things. They're just a few tips and things that have worked for me over the years when I have suffered these times of despair, grief, loss, depression, and these are the things that have helped me, and I'm hoping that sometimes these tips might help some of you guys out there. So look, please subscribe to my channel and hit the like button, and I'll see you soon. Bye.